My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for choosing us. The minority in Parliament is accusing President Akufo-Addo of lacking the political will to fight corruption. Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Murtala Mohammed, says the fact that President Akufo-Addo made mention of corruption just once in a State of the Nation address and did not outline plans to deal with the menace is a clear manifestation that he is unwilling to deal with the menace. President Akufo-Addo yesterday indicated a number of measures have been put in place which has reduced corruption significantly, but did not outline a detailed plan. Listen.
Mr. Speaker, whilst on the subject of law enforcement, the passage of the Right to Information Act, the Witness Protection Act, the amendment of the Criminal Offences Act, and other laws have enhanced significantly the capacity of the state in the fight against corruption. It is also an undeniable fact that budgetary allocations for institutions actively engaged in public sector accountability, that is the Office of the Auditor General, the Judiciary, Parliament, and the Ghana Police Service, have witnessed significant increases since I assumed office in 2017. Furthermore, we now have a new special prosecutor who appears to have all the wherewithal necessary to exercise vigorously the prerogatives of his office.
We can now get on the phone and speak with anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Azim. Were your expectations met as far as dealing with corruption is concerned, listening to the president yesterday?
I wish to say that I do not even have any expectation, because I've listened to State of the Nation addresses over the years, and there's usually nothing that will impress you in those statements. They usually just boast about what they have done or what they think they should talk about. And you expect to see new things. We've done this number of people have been prosecuted, these amounts of money have been recovered from people that have taken them illegally and all that. You don't hear that. And this time, when he was mentioning the names of the institutions, it's just the traditional institutions, Auditor General, Special Attorney General, Parliament, and Judiciary. These are not institutions specifically set up to fight corruption. We should be looking at EOCO, we should look at the Commission on Human Rights and Restorative Justice. Even the Office of Special Prosecutor that he mentioned, I don't know if they now have a board, but for quite some time they have not had a board at all. So the new Special Prosecutor himself even complained that he did not have a board, and so it was difficult for him to actually work. And so the president had nothing to say about corruption.
Well, he said that there's been significant improvement. From where you sit, how would you describe our situation now? Good, bad, or terrible?
Our situation is terrible. Everywhere you go now, every public institution you go, people are taking money from you. Last week I was in the customs office in Zuarmo. When you go to register, just for them to sign that you have paid duty. For a motorcycle, every motorcycle they take 20 cities, no receipt. For every car they take 40 cities, no receipt. They just take it. Even when you confront them, when you ask, they just look at you and find you odd. You go to DVLA. I went there, the people there just said I should pay 150 for something. They didn't tell me what it was. When I decided to ask for a receipt, they started to find fault with my documents that they themselves had posted. So I just went to the boss and reported, and the boss recovered my money for me. Took back my 150 for me. Because I had paid the legal fee. Virtually every government office you go, everybody's asking for money. So we don't even know where we are going to. And the problem is that even at the top, it is there. Huge monies are involved. And if you cannot handle at the top, definitely those at the bottom look up to you and do the same thing.
What should be our focus as a country?
Our approach is not new. We have other countries to learn from. We have our National Anti-Corruption Action Plan. to implement prompt investigations of allegations, credible allegations of corruption, and acting on the findings. This is where we are failing. Because for you to fight corruption, you must make it very unattractive. People must be prosecuted, stolen money illegal taking must be covered, and people named and shamed. We are not seeing that. The special prosecutor that he talked about, how many prosecutions has he carried out? Successful prosecution. That's been there. The Office of Special Prosecutor has been established since 2018. We're in 2022. 4 years down the line. How much money has been recovered? So we're just not doing well as the country in regards to the fight against corruption.
I mean, I see you paint a gloomy picture that our situation is very bad. In fact, you say terrible. Now, what would have been assuring enough from the president with such a situation?
The president, apart from mentioning that people have received significant budgetary allocations, and if you remember, a budgetary allocation is different from disbursement. You can paint a very good picture. You have allocated so much money to these institutions, but you need to follow up in the course of the year to see whether those monies have actually been released to them. And from my work on these things in the past, some of the monies are not normally released to these. But apart from that, you would have expected the president to say that, look, Iyoko has investigated 10, 20 cases and has been able to recover this huge amount of money. Office of Special Prosecutor has investigated this and has been able to successfully prosecute this number of cases. So much money has been recovered. So many contracts have been cancelled because they were found to have been tainted with corruption. So many ministers or public officials have been removed because they were engaged in corruption. There's nothing like that in the State of the Nation address.
Are we going to see more corrupt acts? I mean, especially as the government has not shown the way forward.
Yes, you see, corruption thrives with impunity when you do nothing about it. So as long as we fail to do anything about corruption, we have more corruption scandals rocking the country. And that is not good enough, especially as we're saying that we need more money for the development and the flagship programs.
So from now till the end of the year, if we must be successful with our fight against corruption, what would you recommend, Mr. Vitus Azim?
As I've said, we must make it unattractive. Prosecutions, sacking of people engaged in corruption, recovery of money that have been illegally taken. This is the way we should be going. And you have to be transparent with the information. This person has been prosecuted, this person has been removed from office because of this, 1, 2, 3. This amount of money has been recovered from these people because of this and this. People have been blacklisted for engaging in corruption in procurement. These are the blacklist. You go to the procurement authorities website, you should be seeing number of companies that have been blacklisted. That is not there. But the law clearly makes it that you should blacklist people or companies that are found to have engaged in corruption. You don't see it. So those are the things that we should be looking at in the course of the year if we want to convince ourselves that we are succeeding in the fight against corruption.
I'm grateful for your time. Vitus Azim, he's an anti-corruption campaigner, and he says we must make corruption unattractive so that we can win the fight against it.